YouTube, what's going on people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are finally finishing off the Spiritbox Eternal Blue album. I have heard every single track on it. Granted, I have not done a reaction for every single track. You'll have already seen by the title of the video, it's Silk in the Strings. It's been one that was quite highly requested based on the last video, and just based on a few of the guys that I've spoken to about the album, they've all said that Silk in the Strings is one of the better tracks, or at least the heavier tracks on the album. Not that the album lacks heaviness in any way, shape or form, but it's also one of the tracks that a lot of reaction channels seem to have flocked to. I've seen it quite a lot. So I figured, it being the last track on the album that I haven't heard, because I listened to everything, like obviously I reacted to Holy Roller first, then I reacted to Yellow Jacket with Sam Carter on it as well. And then in my own time, I kind of had planned to just go and do more of the album, but you know, I was just on the train home from work one day and I just started listening to it and I couldn't stop. Sunkiller is, my god, one of my favorite songs that's been released this year. I kind of wish I had done a reaction to it. It's just so unique. I've never really heard a track like that. The eerie part at the end is just, it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, seriously.
And I kind of just said, well, I've done, you know, this track, I might as well go and listen to everything. And I just went on a rampage, pretty much listened to the whole album, but the one track I did save was Silk in the Strings, because I knew that that was a popular one. So guys, we're going to jump in. I've heard this is crazy, so drop a like on it if you have not already. Make sure you're subbed to the channel. Let me know if there's any other tracks you want me to see. What? Let me know if there is any other tracks from any other bands. I squeaked as well. For fuck. Comment section, let me know, okay? Cheers, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Ooh, this kind of sounds like the start of one of the Darko tracks.
As if the flame was a single fool, and now I carry you with me. Wrapped in my thoughts like a spider web. I let you walk in the best.
We were.
And like a dead irrelevant soul.
Stop doing that.
Just on.
Oh, I hear that.
You wrap me up with silk and the strings that pull me to fade. I escape, but I carry you with me. Your passion brings the years of good night. I'm a stick, but I carry you with me. Goodbyes and takes a rally, because it's all temporary. Silk and the strings that pull me to fade. Escape, I carry you with me. Shining in the dark, the crystal balls. I can hear your heart. You wrap me up with silk and the strings that pull me to fade. I escape, but I carry you with me. Your passion brings the years of good night. I'm a stick, but I carry you with me. Goodbyes and takes a rally, because it's all temporary. Silk and the strings that pull me to fade. Escape, I carry you with me.
Yeah, alright, okay.
You wrap me up with silk and the strings that pull me to fade. I escape, but I carry you with me. Silk and the strings that pull me to fade. I escape, but I carry you with me.
Ah, man, there's better tracks on that album. There is better tracks on that album. I mean, that goes without saying. I mean, based on the views alone, or the plays. I've heard the whole album, man. There's just Grant, first listen again, look, take it with a pinch of salt. I could come back tomorrow and absolutely love this track, and I'm not, like, there was no parts of it that I hated, you know what I mean? Start of it was a little bit choppy, changey, a little bit hard to figure out what the fuck was going on, very loud, very loudly mixed, probably the loudest track on the album, just from a mix standpoint. It sounded really just like, I couldn't actually really hear the different sequences and stuff that they're playing. Quite fast tempo as well, which is quite unexpected. That snare was quite fast, hard hitting. I could really hear that kind of over everything. I wanted to find this big massive drop in the end, but it just felt a little bit underwhelming. Don't hate me for saying that, being honest. First listen again, I'll probably listen to it again tomorrow and just be bouncing around the room. But like, I mean, it's just weird because sometimes tracks always end up sticking out in the comment section when, you know, you do one track off an album and then you ask for suggestions for the next track. You find that it's very rare that people nail it in the comments. You know, sometimes you guys will absolutely smash it out of the park and it'll be the right track to do. Not necessarily that this was the wrong track, but I feel like based on the comments I'd seen and like other channels react to tracks that maybe wouldn't have been the best choice. Like, I believe that Sunkiller is probably the best track to react to from a reaction standpoint. Also, I actually just noticed that Circle With Me is in that as well, and I did react to that as well. That's a great track. But again, even like Circle With Me, like, I still feel Sunkiller would have been the best track. It just has that reaction video sound to it, you know what I mean? Like, it's really, really, like, it has that climatic build up at the end, something really unique with the whispering from Courtney the Plant. But I just think that Sunkiller, like, because I know how good Sunkiller is and a lot of the tracks on the album are, after hearing the whole album apart from this track, I just feel like, you know, going into this track, I was like, right, well, if these other tracks weren't getting recommended as much, then this Silk and the Strings track should be really good, or should, you know, not this. It's alright, I just don't love it, you know. Nothing really stood out to me. Different again, like, it did sound different to a lot of the other tracks. Not as much like really, you know, grungy breakdowns, more so just kind of like a consistent nice tempo throughout, which was a little bit different, I suppose, to the rest of the album from what I've heard. But I just think Sunkiller stands out, you know, head and shoulders above everything else in this album. What a way to start the album. Overall, the album is incredible. Like, I've really, really got into it. Yellow Jacket has grown on me a lot as well with the Sam Carter feature. What else? I'm just looking at it here now. Holy Roller is you know, first track I heard by Spiritbox, an absolute classic already, especially for this year. I believe it came out this year. I think it was the start of this year, was it? Yeah, Holy Roller was around the start of this year. Circle With Me is a track that I, you know, over the last month I've really gotten back into as well. I've been watching a lot of reaction videos. But Yellow Jacket is kind of my more recent one. Sunkiller, I went through like 2-week period of just literally non-stop listening to that track. So fucking good, so unique. But this one, maybe a few more listens and I'll come around. But let me know what you guys think. What's your favourite track on the album? I personally would have to say Sunkiller or Circle With Me. Again, it's a little bit unfair to Holy Roller because it's been out for so much longer than a lot of these tracks that, you know, over time it just naturally gets a little bit, you know, less enjoyable, and just, you know, you've played it to death. You all know what I'm talking about. But at the moment, Sunkiller, Circle With Me, they're tied, and then Silk and the Strings, man, you know, I wouldn't put it up there from what I've heard, maybe, you know, top 5 from the album. But again, I'll have to listen to it a few more times and really kind of figure out the rhythm and stuff. It's a quick one as well, so you don't really have time to think. It's just straight in, bang, bang, bang. But guys, let me know what your favourite track is on the album. I'm signing out. Take care of yourselves. See you in the next one. Cheers.
You let me up, I suck, and the strength above me,